you don't have any money. I didn't either. Not only did I not have any money, I had no clue how to get any money. Nevertheless, I am a millionaire. And you are a future millionaire. Ask yourself, what would be possible if I was earning a lot more money? The first lesson, you're not broke, you're pre-rich. You are a future millionaire. Declare it, know it, demand it of yourself and the world. Today, I want to read you something that's going to change the way that you see yourself, that you see your bank account, and you see your future, right? What's possible for you. So I'm going to read you the introduction to my new book, Future Millionaire, You Deserve to Be Free. This book will show you how. This is my first time seeing it, and I'm going to unbox it with you. Oh my God! Welcome to the Hello 7 podcast. That's 7 as in 7 figures. I'm your host, Rachel Rodgers. Hello, friends. Okay, guess what? My new book has arrived. It's called Future Millionaire, and it is here. This is my first time seeing it, and I'm going to unbox it with you. And I have unboxed my book twice before. Once for We Should All Be Millionaires, which is here on this bookshelf, and then also for $1 Million Action, which is my workbook. I have 3 audiobooks that I did on Audible. However, there's no unboxing because it's audio only. So this is my 3rd unboxing. Let's do it right now. Also, you know what I was thinking before we started this? I was thinking, what if I unboxed it and was like, cool. That's it. Like, why doesn't that ever happen? Why doesn't anybody ever like unbox their book for the first time or like a product that they've created and just be like, nice. I feel like somebody needs to do that. Maybe it's going to be me. I don't know. Anyway, let's unbox this big old box and see what's in here. Are we ready?
Ready.
Okay. Oh my God, it's fucking gorgeous. Are you serious right now? Like, it is so beautiful. Wow. Like, I'm actually blown away. This was not what I was expecting for some reason. I love the gold. It's so shiny and pretty. Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't give you the meh response. Okay. Let's crack it open and see what it looks like. Wow. This is the praise page where I get all my friends to say nice things about my book. Let's read the first one. Rachel Rodgers blends financial savvy with heart and humor. Future Millionaire is the perfect companion for young people who want to live better, dream bigger, and take charge of their lives. That's from New York Times bestselling author, Tiffany Aliche. Oh my goodness. So pretty. Okay, let's look. I know there's charts in here. Ooh. I feel like I'm just like oohing and ahhing over it and y'all can't see what I can see, but like, this is part 2, the get money section. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Well, she's gorge. We've got charts. You know what I mean? Ooh, there's all these try it sections because you know I'm going to give you work. Okay. Whenever I give you a book. And in the back, one of my favorite things is it ends with your future millionaire plan, where I give you like the step-by-step process that you need to do to become a millionaire. It's here. Yay! Okay, so this is not just going to be just a regular reading. I'm also going to comment and crack jokes while I read through it. And you can see me laugh at the jokes that I wrote into this book. So that'll be funny. The other thing is, I want you to, in the introduction, right? It's not just a book. It's really a declaration, right? It's a calling. It's a call to arms, right? To take action for your future and not just let life happen to you, but you happen to life, right? You decide what's happening in your life and what's possible for you and what results you want, and then you go get it. So I want to read this introduction, and I'll stop and pause at different moments to tell you like why I wrote certain things or funny stories behind the scenes where it makes sense. So that's what we're going to do today on the podcast. Are you ready? Are you excited? okay? It's read along time. Now you're getting something that only my children get. And I do want you to know that when I read to my children, I do all of the dramatic voices, okay? Because really Broadway missed out on me. Before I even read the first line, I want to tell you a story about the first line. I was talking to my daughter who is 13, and I was telling her about this book. And I was saying, when I finish this book, are you going to read it? And she was like, but I don't have any money. And I was like, but that's exactly why you need to read this book, because you don't have any money. So you need to learn how to get it, right? And so she was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll read it then, And so when she said that to me, I don't have any money, I was like, this is the first line of the book, right? And so I changed the introduction to add that as the first line. So that inspired me. So the first line is, listen up. If you're tired of setting the same income goals year after year and still coming up short, it's time to change the game. You know you're meant for more, but right now your business isn't moving like it should. You've got the talent, the skills, the ambition, but your bank account isn't reflecting that. That's where the Make Money Moves Challenge comes in. For 5 days, I'm giving you the exact strategies, mindset shifts, and money-making moves that have helped me and thousands of other entrepreneurs break out of the feast or famine cycle and start stacking real wealth. No more scrambling to hit your revenue goals, and no more waiting for the perfect time to go all in. You're getting daily action steps that will have you making more money immediately. This isn't a fluffy feel-good challenge. This is about building a business that actually pays you what you deserve. So are you in? If so, join me for our next challenge. Go to hello7.co/challenge to sign up now. You don't have any money. I didn't either. Not only did I not have any money, I had no clue how to get any money. Nevertheless, I am a millionaire. And you are a future millionaire. By the time you finish reading this book, you will know and believe that this is true about yourself. Not only will you fully accept your identity as a future millionaire, you will have a plan and the mindset to make it happen. You see, getting money is a learnable skill, and I'm about to teach it to you. First lesson, you're not broke, you're pre-rich. You are a future millionaire. Declare it, know it, demand it of yourself and the world. Okay, wait. I have to tell you a story about the first lesson. So the first lesson, you're not broke, you're pre-rich. I love this line, okay? And where I got this from was one of my clients. So years ago, way back, I was doing a mastermind with a group of clients who were entrepreneurs who were growing their businesses. And I had this one client, she was so fun. She was an accountant and so funny, like the funniest accountant you've ever met. And I was helping her scale and grow her business, and it was working. And I remember one time we were all like going to dinner after a retreat or something like that. And we were like all in the elevator talking and joking, and somebody talks about being broke, and she was like, "You're not broke, you're pre-rich." And that line just stuck with me because it is just so funny. And so it's become like this inside joke at Hello 7 that we've said, especially the team members who were here when this client was here, but even beyond that, where we talk about being pre-rich, right? And if you think about it, it's such an empowering way to talk about your situation, right? You can decide that, oh, I'm broke, and take on the identity of being broke, how does that make you feel? It doesn't make you feel good, right? You're not going to grow. It doesn't say like, oh, there's so many options. Let me go see which one I want to take advantage of, right? It just makes you feel down, and you don't want to do anything but maybe like get under the covers and watch Netflix and just ignore the possibilities, right? Just like hide because life isn't working for you. However, when you take on the identity of pre-rich, you're going places, right? There is a future that you are on your way to. And that is the truth, right? That's actually true. So there is a future that you're on your way to, and you're just getting yourself there. You're in the process of getting yourself there, right? You're on a journey. It feels like possibility. It feels like opportunity. It's like, ooh, which way do I want to go on this journey, right? So much more exciting than broke. Okay. Broke just feels like full stop, period, end of sentence, right? Where pre-rich is like, ooh, where are we going, right? Let's dream, let's envision what it's going to be like when we get to no longer be pre-rich, but rich. Okay. And this book is going to help you do that. All right. So you are a future millionaire. Declare it, know it, Demand it of yourself and the world, and prepare to work for it. No, it's not the kind of work you're thinking. It's not all my life, grinding all my life, right? That's a Nipsey Hussle song, by the way, that I put in there. And I was like, are they going to get it? I don't care. I'm putting it in anyway. So it's not all my life, grinding all my life type work. It's taking a risk, putting yourself out there, asking for the sale type work. But don't worry about all that right now. We'll get into it later. All you need to know right now is that no matter what your life or bank account looks like today, you can be wealthy. I'll even go so far as to say, baby, you will be wealthy. As long as you trust and believe that it's possible. I believe it for you, but you have to believe it for yourself. And I'm not talking about just saying it out loud and then hoping millions magically appear in your bank account one day. Canvas bags with dollar signs are not going to suddenly fall from the sky and bust you in the head, no matter how many times you've seen that in cartoons. I literally just envision, I don't even know what cartoons was this, like Bugs Bunny? I don't remember, but like old school cartoons where, the canvas bags of money with a dollar sign on it, just like, I imagine that falling from the sky with some sound and it just busts you in the head and money's everywhere. That's how we act sometimes. Like, I just want it to hit me. I don't want to have to actually put any effort in to make it happen, right? And that ain't going to work, clearly. There will be work. Effort is required. The right mindset is required, but wealth is possible. And if you truly believe, wealth is probable. Being young might feel like a setback on your journey toward wealth. Maybe you feel like your ideas and skills aren't taken seriously yet. Maybe you feel like you lack access to the people who could really help you. Maybe you feel like making money, real money, not part-time sweating it out for minimum wage money, simply isn't possible when you're young, or when you're young and a person of color, or when you're young and identify as LGBTQIA+, or when you're young and you grew up low income or middle class, or you live in an expensive city or a small town or out in the country. We all have our reasons, right? We all have our things that we think are limiting us. You might feel the way you look or the way you talk is preventing you from being wealthy. You are right? Some people won't take you seriously. You are right that some people are racist. Some people are sexist. Some people are homophobic. Some people are transphobic. Some people are fatphobic, and some people are assholes, is what I wanted to say, but my publisher made me change it to jerks. Okay? Some people are jerks. Some of these issues are institutional and systemic. For example, as a young Black woman, I had a hard time getting a business loan for my first company. Studies show that banking policies are sexist and racist. Depending on your identity, these are very real barriers you may contend with on your journey to build wealth. But that's no secret, right? You're living that truth already. Despite those very real barriers, I still became a wealthy Black woman. And you can become a wealthy young person, a wealthy woman, a wealthy queer person, a wealthy person of color, or a wealthy disabled person. The real secret is that having wealth isn't just about the money. It's about what you can do with that money. What would you do with an extra $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million? Would you pay off your parents' mortgage so they never have to stress about paying the bills ever again? Would you buy your sister a car so she can stop taking the bus late at night? Would you stop taking out student loans and pay for the rest of college with the cash you have? Would you provide toys at Christmas and back-to-school supplies in the fall for low-income kids in your neighborhood? Would you back progressive political candidates that you believe in? Would you send a food truck to feed protesters fighting for a cause that you care about? Ask yourself, what would be possible if I was earning a lot more money? Money is not about the money. It's about how that money can be used to make your life better, make your loved ones' lives better, and make the people in your community's lives better. It's about gaining social, economic, and political power that enables your voice to be heard and your dollars to be used to create the world you actually want to live in. It's also about belief, specifically the things you believe about yourself. It's about the barriers that hold people back, and it's about your daily habits, all of which we'll get into in this book. But the most important thing about building wealth is that you have to believe in yourself. That is the best investment you can ever make. You may be thinking, why should I listen to you? What do you know, right? So this is the put some respect on it section of the book. where I give some street cred. Okay. Well, for starters, I'm a millionaire and I made every cent through a business I built with my own two hands. Everything I'm going to tell you to do, I did myself, but I also made a lot of mistakes. I didn't grow up with money, not even close. I know what it's like to see your parents struggle, to see bills not getting paid, to see the fear and stress on their faces when the landlord is knocking and the rent is late again. My dad passed away suddenly when I was in 7th grade. For my mom, my older sister, and me, his death threw our lives into chaos. My mom had been with him since she was 16. She was lost without him. She basically checked out, swallowed up by her grief. My older sister and my best friend's family looked out for me, but it was scary and sad. I experienced food insecurity up close. Does it get any closer than not having enough to eat? I witnessed the power. Let me just say something about that too. When people say they don't care about money, it makes me want to slap them. Okay? Because the reality is, if you say you don't care about money, the truth is you've never been without it. That's why you think you have the privilege of not caring about money. If you've ever not had money, then you know money matters, right? You know how important it is, how, like all of our having a roof over your head, being able to eat, being able to have electricity, right? Like all of these basic necessities of life that many of us take for granted, right? There are people who don't have that. And that's why I write this book. That's why I do all of the work that I do is for everyone, right? Because even if you are poor right now, even if you are struggling right now, if you're struggling to keep a roof over your head right now, no matter what your situation is at the moment, you have skills and talent and abilities that you can turn into cash. And that's what I want people to understand. Like, you don't have to have a business degree. You do not have to have all this seed capital, right? You don't have to have, a huge professional network, just the natural talents that you had since you were a little kid, right? Just that alone is enough. And it's just about putting it together, packaging it up in a certain way and being able to monetize it. And you can make money. And that's the thing that I want people to know, that making money is actually easy. And I think society wants us to believe that it's hard. They want it to be hard for us so that we're like, oh, that's hard. And then we just take crappy jobs, working in their crappy companies, being treated like crap and paid like crap, right? And we just stay a cog in their machine so they can become even bigger billionaires. And instead, if we actually find out what our own talent is, we could either find jobs that we love or create businesses that we love, and we could certainly monetize our skill set. So that's what I want us to understand is like, you don't have to have anything and you can still, right, monetize. And for someone like, there may be some people out there who really can't for whatever reason. It could be a health reason. It could be other things. Then it behooves the rest of us to go do it, right? For the people who can't, so that we can help support them, right? Like that's what community care is. And so that is why I'm so passionate about helping people see their money-making potential, right? Because we all have it. I witnessed the power company turning off our lights. I didn't feel safe. Because how can you feel safe if it always feels like you might lose your home? I didn't want that for my family, and I didn't want that for my future. Those experiences taught me that I needed to take control of my life. I needed to make my own money. I needed to seize my own power. The truth is that money equals security. It equals power. It means being in control of your life, being able to help yourself and the people you love. Having money means being able to make choices rather than having choices forced upon you. Being able to buy groceries and get that dope new pair of sneakers, okay? Being able to go to a movie with your friends and get the mega-sized tub of popcorn. Hell, throw in some goobers and gigantic sodas too, okay? Don't drink the gigantic sodas. They're not good for you. Or at least don't do it often. But by the way, popcorn with goobers, you put them together, pop them in your mouth at the same time. Best movie snack there ever was. Okay, also not healthy. Being able to go to college if you want and not leave with 6 figures of debt like I did. Being able to shoot for the career that makes you happy, not the one that wears you out and still barely pays enough to cover the bills. I wanted that. My way out was to become a lawyer. I used to watch courtroom dramas on TV with my mom, and I liked how the lawyers advocated for people. That resonated with me. And I understood that a lawyer was a well-paid and well-respected position. I decided that would be my path to money and security. And while I wasn't wrong, it didn't happen quite like I envisioned. I studied law, worked for a law firm for only a few months, and then boldly chose to open my own law firm. Okay, what I didn't say here is that I graduated in the middle of a recession in 2008. And so there were very few jobs, and the jobs that were available, I didn't like. And I just decided I'm going to bet on myself rather than take a job I don't want to do, right? I just went through bajillion years of schooling. Okay. And I'm just like, after a bajillion years of schooling, I got to have freedom. I got to be able to make my own choices. I got to have some options in life and not be stuck with a job that I hate, working for people I don't like, doing work I don't want to do, you know? So I decided to go solo. My practice was successful. But on the side, I started coaching other young professionals about how they could also build successful businesses. And I realized that I liked that a whole lot better. So don't get too caught up in feeling like you have to know what you want to do with your life right from the start of your career. You probably won't. Listen, there's always going to be a pivot, okay? So feel free to pivot. Just get yourself going. Just get started. Because then through the doing something, you discover what you like and what you don't like, and that leads you to where you want to be, right? So law doesn't have to be your path. Entrepreneurialism doesn't have to be your path. If you follow your interest, you'll discover your path. But first, you have to believe that you deserve to, and you do. You deserve security. You deserve power. You deserve a career you love that pays. You deserve wealth. If you take away nothing else from this book, believe that. No matter where you are now, no matter what your starting point is, you deserve to be financially secure. You deserve to be free. This book will show you how. I love to make small promises. You know what I mean? Like just really tiny, tiny little promises. But it's true though. It's true. I do deliver on that promise. It was a big promise though. This book will show you how. We've officially rescheduled ROI The Millionaire Summit 2025. Join me, Hello 7, and hundreds of your newest business besties in Huntington Beach, California from June 17th through the 19th for 3 days of high-impact, high-caliber fun. Let me tell you why ROI The Millionaire Summit is happening at the perfect time. June is the ultimate mid-year reset. It's your chance to pause, reflect, and redirect your energy for the months ahead. By the time the summer rolls around, you've had 6 months of wins, lessons, and challenges. That makes June the moment to evaluate what's working and ditch what's not, and pivot for even bigger success in the second half of the year. I'm so excited to invite you to ROI 2025 this summer to reconnect with your vision and take million-dollar action with me. Come to dream bigger, move boldly, and reconnect with your purpose. So if you're ready to realign with your vision, sharpen your strategy, and set yourself up for massive wins, ROI is where you need to be. Head to hello7.co/ROI to grab your ticket. First, we'll talk about how to get ready. Before you can bulk up your bank account, you've got to prepare for success. We all have habits and ways of thinking that can get in the way of our goals. We're going to break down what those are and how to beat them. And then in part 2, we'll dive into how to get money. This is all about the actions you'll take to set yourself up for wealth. We'll talk about how to determine the best career path for you, how to manage your money, how to protect it, and how to invest it. I'll be honest with you. You'll have to work hard, okay? You'll have to work, okay? Especially if your upbringing and identity have you at a disadvantage. No, it's not fair, but it is a fact. But building wealth is possible for you, and it's definitely worth it. Now let's go get it. That's it. When I tell you I thought that introduction was so long, and it's only a couple pages. In my mind, it was 25 pages, you know? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that introduction to Future Millionaire, and I hope you'll go get yourself a copy, get a copy for the young people in your life. And let me tell you why you need to get a copy. First of all, I've been doing lots of podcasts and talking to lots of people about the book because I'm in the middle of the book launch. And in all of these conversations, a lot of folks are saying, you know, I'm 38 and I still got so much value from this book. I'm 52. And I got a copy for my kid, but I got one for myself as well. But let me tell you why. This book I really had in mind Gen Z, right? Which is everybody from 13 to 27 years old. That's who I wrote this book for. And let me tell you why, even if you're not Gen Z, you need to get a copy. Gen Z is really struggling right now because they don't have as much buying power as their parents did, right? Usually generations, things are supposed to get easier and better for future generations. For Gen Z, it's gotten harder because of student loan debt, the rising cost of housing, and inflation. Like all of these things combined have just created a lot of economic uncertainty, not to mention our current president, who is not helping. Okay, that is the understatement of the year. So given all of that, right, 50% of young adults are not able to move out of their parents' home, right? So they wind up living with them for a lot longer than they want to, and probably than the parents want them to be there. So what does this mean? This means if you have a teenager or a college student or a recent college grad as, your child, then they're never getting out of your house. Okay. And that should concern you. And I know we love our kids being with us. The truth is we love them and we don't want them to leave necessarily, or maybe some of us do. But the point is, right, they do need to leave at some point and establish their own home and their own independence. And it's going to be harder for them to do in this economy. So they need a new plan, one that will work in this economy, right? One that will work in this life, right? Because the story of go to college, get a good job, buy a house, like that's not real anymore. That is a lie that they've been sold, right? And they have found it to be not true. So now what, right? What is the new pathway? That's what I lay out in this book. And it is realistic because if you know anything about me, I don't like nonsense. I want give me the real and tell me what I need to do so I can go do it. That's exactly what this book is. So get yourself a copy, get a copy for the young people in your life. If you're an auntie and uncle, you ain't safe. They will find your couch as well. Okay. They will be in your basement. That extra room you have in your house is about to be gone. They're going to find their way to it. All right. When they wear their parents out, they come into your house. All right. So aunties and uncles, you are not safe. So make sure you get the young people in your life a copy of this book as well, so that you can help them get financially free, help them to, create the lives that they want. Because, the other thing that I love about Gen Z is that they will not accept just, just live a whack life, right? Never have your own home or never travel or never experience the things that you want to experience. Gen Z says no to that. And I love that, right? Let's have some standards for ourselves. We only get one life. So let's teach them to have a big dream, $1 million dream, and then let's show them how to go get it. Okay. So go to futuremillionairebook.com to get all the details. If you get 2 copies of this book, 2 physical copies of this book, you get 2 tickets to Money Camp. So Money Camp is a live training that I'm doing every day, Monday through Friday. We're going to get together for 5 days. So for you and the young people in your life, come to Money Camp. We're going to talk about your $1 million dream and how to make it happen. And I'm going to be teaching live some key lessons from the book, and we'll do Q&A and we'll have a lot of fun while we do it. So join me for that as well. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate your support. Authors need your support. Black authors need your support. Women authors need your support. Because if you don't buy the book, then there won't be more books like this, right? So buy the book, share it, get 20,000 copies, however many you need. All right.
You want to make more money? Bye, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Hello 7 podcast. That's 7 as in 7 figures. I'm your host, Rachel Rodgers.